right? These are just common questions that people have had over the years, really, before there was even AI agency, just agency stuff in general. But let's just talk about these. These are just common things that people, just have in their head, like nonstop, no matter what. All right, so let's just talk about this. All right, so first and foremost, let's start with the one I think is the most important. What's the easiest way to get this business going, right? And I talked a little bit about this initially prior to kind of kicking this off. It's just about getting into a routine, right? Your routine should revolve around a simple process to do what it is that we do. So let's just hit a quick overview. What is it that we do, right? We sell advertising services to local small businesses. That's it. Nothing cosmic, a business model that has been around since there's been businesses. And we focus obviously on digital marketing, digital advertising. And we have narrowed it down to just a few services, a handful of services that we offer that 99.9% of all businesses on the planet will need and or want at least one of them. Okay. And so that is all we're doing, selling advertising to local small businesses. Now, we have a special process around that makes us different than anyone else. Instead of just randomly going to businesses and saying, oh, I can do advertising for you. Here's all the things I can do. We just focus on one point of entry, one foot in the door offer. And we use that to get a conversation started, potentially start working with that small business. Again, just with that one foot in the door service. And then once we're done with that service, we then offer them our other services. Okay. This is really no different than, well, I would like to say it's the Netflix model. Of course, it's not anymore because Netflix is kind of different now. But back when it came out, you started with a trial. It was a trial of the service, right? Hey, give this a whirl. And if you like it, then you'll start paying us for it. Okay. Now, by the way, tons of businesses have used that model. And there's still a lot of businesses that use that model now, especially a lot of online type businesses. Subscriptions and stuff you sign up for, a lot of them offer trials. Well, that's all we're doing. We're just using that concept, okay, of a result first, right? So let me make that clear. We are offering a result first and then seeing if they like it. If they like it, they will pay us for it. And then we will actually then offer them more things, which those won't be results first. Those will be, hey, we can also offer you these other things and here's how much they cost. Okay. So to kick off that process, a foot in the door, results first service, we want it to be something very easy to do, right? Because if that's what we're going to lead off with every single time, we want it to be easy for us to accomplish. We want it to be something that people, or in this case, small businesses, would want. And we want it to be priced very reasonable and at a great value so that when we do show them the result, it makes it even easier for them to say, yes, I want that and pay us for it. Okay. So what do we use for that? We are using AI built websites. Okay. Just websites. However, we are using AI to build them. Okay. So that's what we mean by AI built websites. So we are going to build a website using AI for a small business, approach them, ask them if they want it. If they say yes, they pay for it. And then we will sell other marketing services that we offer, things like email and text marketing campaigns, Facebook ads, Google ads, review management, helping them get more reviews online, and local search engine optimization, local SEO to help them get shown in Google. Okay. And that's our whole handful of services. We also have on the back end things that we can offer, some AI type services like AI receptionists, which are robots essentially that we install in their business, online robots, not physical, that will essentially can handle customer service for them, can respond to leads, contact leads to book appointments, and do all kinds of things that can save them manpower and overhead expenses, because these AI receptionists can work 24/7. Okay. And so that's our whole business. Start off with the website and then sell them marketing services. Okay. So the easiest way to get the business going is to simply have a simple process based around that, right? And so what we teach, as you all know, is we teach you to go find businesses first that are already asking for help, build them a website because they're already asking for one and they typically have money. They're saying, hey, I want a website, I have money for it. Build them the website, try to make the sale with them, and then close that deal and then eventually offer them other things. Okay. Where we go for that? We typically use Upwork, right? Place like Upwork, where people post asking for help, right? So if I go web design in this case, okay, here's a construction business looking for a website developer. They have about a $3,000 budget. Okay, I don't really care if they say Wix. We have a website designer for cybersecurity business, website design. So I'm just looking for these people like this that are already asking for help. Okay, and I would sort by most recent, and I would just do this every single day. Okay, here's a website build out for an education company. And so in the end, I'm just looking, here's a biotechnology business, biotechnology company with a budget of 2,000. In the end, I'm just looking for these people. I'm just going to come here and I'm going to offer them a website. Okay. We typically use lovable.dev to build a website. Okay. So I would find the job on Upwork in this example, build it here on Lovable just by asking them to build a website. Okay. Let's just do that. Let's just build. Okay. We are seeking. Okay. Let's just do this. I'm just going to copy this just as a basic. We're not going to get into the extreme details of this. I'm just going to show this, the process. Okay. Okay. I need a website built based on the following project, and then paste it in. Okay. And that's it. I'm going to let it do its thing. And so this is going to be my process every single day. This is the easiest way to get this started. I go to Upwork, find projects. For each project, I will build them a website. And then I will potentially use something like ChatGPT to say, I need a website proposal. Oops, I need a proposal for the following Upwork project. I have already built a demo site for them, so please leave a spot for me to put the website link. So please highlight this and leave a spot for me to put the website link. Okay. Okay. And then, so now I'm going to have this nice proposal here. I'll go back. It's asking me questions. Hey, which one of these do you like? What do you want? I can just skip it and I have it pick. But let's just say let's say I like this one. Like that, select. Okay. But I can say skip and just let it do its thing. anyway, I'm less concerned about teaching you that and more about just teaching you the process. Okay. That's all. This is it. Okay. This is the easiest way to get the business started. Okay. I start on Upwork, find a project, then go to Lovable to get the site built. While that is being built, I will go to something like ChatGPT. Use whatever one you want, Grok, Gemini, whatever thing you like, just use it and have it just build a quick proposal for you. And again, I can edit this, I can change, I can do whatever I want. And then all I'm doing is once the website is done, it's going to give me an option to publish it on the link, grab that link, throw it in the proposal, bid, and then I just keep doing that. That's it, over and over and over and over again. Okay. So it's important to understand, and when that, we'll listen for it when it comes out, we'll go back and look at it. I want to focus on the FAQs versus extreme details of what's going on here. Because there's obviously lots of demos and we've done this over and over and over again. So that's the easiest way to get going. And so when I wake up, that should be all I have to focus on. That should be all I need to do. Okay. Can I do more? Absolutely. But the easiest way to get the business going is just simply do that process. It's 3 steps: Upwork, Lovable, ChatGPT, back to Upwork, bid, move on, right? That's it, over and over and over again. Okay, that is the business. Because ultimately, even if I sell nothing else, I'm still selling those websites anywhere from $500 to $3,000 typically. That's the range typically that I'm going to fall into. Okay, that one right there had a budget of $2,000. It might not mean I'm going to get $2,000, but that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, to right in the range. So even if I sold nothing else, and say I got that project for them because they're like, oh yeah, I really like this. Now, that wouldn't be the final version, right? They would say, oh yeah, this is along the lines of what we want. Yeah, let's do this. Then they're going to say, okay, here's what we really want. And then I'm just going to copy and paste what they said in the level and say, hey, change it up for this. And that's it. Then that's going to be the final project, the final delivery. And so in the end, that's it. Even if I sold them nothing else and got $2,000 for that website, would that be okay? Would that be okay with you if you just got $2,000 and then moved on? Right? But the great thing is that that business might also need one of the marketing services that I offer, which I would sell then after the website. Very simply, it was saying, all right, cool. Well, now that's done. What are you guys doing for marketing? How are you guys attracting new customers in, new clients? How are you going to get eyeballs on that website? Because I offer those kind of services as well. If you're free tomorrow, why don't we sit down and talk? You can kind of tell me more about what you guys are doing, and then I can share what I do, and we can kind of go from there. That's it. That easy, right? And then, so that's the whole process in general, but how do I get it going? Get it going with what we just looked at, okay? All right, actually, let's just see if this site's done. Yeah, let's go back here real quick. And there it is. And there it is, beautiful freaking website that I can then share. I publish, grab the link, and put that in the proposal and be done. That's it. Okay. All right. Let's go back. All right. What are startup costs involved? Okay. Well, I just talked about the entire business. So let's just break it down by parts. Well, to get going, you use the process I just showed you. Okay. The cool thing is all that has free plans. Upwork actually has a free plan, right? So you can just start off for free. Now, you will eventually run into a cap of how many projects you can bid on, but you get to start for free. And then when you upgrade, it's like 25 to 50 bucks for the month, something like that, to get you the next level of more credits that you can bid. Now, that's pretty doggone good if you ask me, right? For the opportunity, like for that project, it was $2,000. So an opportunity to have $2,000, worst case, I'm upgrading to pay 25 to 50 bucks so I can have more opportunities like that. Okay. So anyway, very cheap for me to get going. That's all I need for Upwork. Again, I start for free. And then once I reach my cap, once I reach my limit and it says, oh, you're capped out, upgrade to bid on more. Cool. That's when I will upgrade. And again, we're talking minimal cost there. Okay. For Lovable, It's the same thing. They have a free plan. Okay, so I will cap that out once I reach my limit. Now, Lovable does something interesting is every day it replenishes the free credits. So every day you have enough credits to build 2 to 3 websites typically. Okay. And then worst case scenario, I wait till tomorrow and those credits replenish. So every day those credits replenish and I'm able to build 2 to 3 websites a day. Now, if I get going and I'm like, oh crap, I maxed that out and I have more projects, I don't want to wait. Cool. Guess what? Then I upgrade for $20 a month. And now that cap, I got way more credits plus the free credits still every single day. So I get a big monthly bucket of credits plus every day my free credits replenish. Okay. And again, we're talking like 20, unless they raise the price, maybe it's up to 40 now or something like that, say 20 to 40 bucks. So far I haven't even spent total $100 on this business. Okay. And each part has a free plan. Okay. Then the third thing I showed you, heading to ChatGPT, well, that's free. Now, yeah, they do have a paid plan, but it takes a lot, like you'd have to do a lot of things to max that out. Worst case scenario, you hit the limit on that, and I think it's $20 a month. Okay. But I doubt you'll reach the limit on it. Maybe you, I don't know. I don't know how many times. If you're doing other things in it besides this, then maybe you're using it, but then in that case, you're using it. So who cares? So even if I have to upgrade and get paid plans with all of these, we're looking at about $20 a month for each of them, potentially a little bit more. So we're still looking at under $100 a month to start a freaking business that can make you starting off anywhere from $500 to $3,000 in a given month. That's pretty damn good. There's no other business on the planet that has that kind of cheap overhead to get started. Like minimal to no startup costs. Pretty much every other business on the planet, you're paying lots of money to get started. So that's pretty doggone good. So startup costs, very minimal. Okay. I've never sold anything. How easy is it to make sales? Well, I just walked through the process, right? What's really cool about this process is all these people here, okay, they're already asking for help. So when I start with this simple process, it's not really selling when someone's asking for something, is it? It's just me responding to them, saying, yeah, I can do that for you. In fact, here's what I put together. So for those people that have always been nervous about sales, or not always thinking about it, but like want to start a business, but then sales pops in the head and he's like, oh, wow, I've never thought about that. I'm scared about that. I've never done that. This is the perfect business model and the perfect process of this business model, the perfect strategy, because it pretty much reduces and minimizes any need for sales skills whatsoever, because all I'm doing is responding to people asking for something. So I don't have to be some slick salesperson with all the right things to say. I just have to, again, I'm actually going to use AI to produce a lot of the messaging. Now, again, I'm pretend you don't actually have access to this community, just and where you can literally ask what to say and you're given training on what to do. Even without all this training, this simple process removes the need for me to have any high-end sales skills because I'm just responding to people. That's it. Okay. It's a conversation. I always like to say that this is more of a sales conversation than it ever is a sales call or a sales thing. It's just a conversation. You're just having a conversation. Yeah, here's something I can do for you. Oh, okay. Well, are you able to do this? Yeah, I can do that. And to really give you anything you need. That's it. Right. So needing any kind of sales skills, you don't. Okay. So how easy is it to make sales? Now let's differentiate the ease of the sale versus how easy it is to make regular sales. Okay. The ease of the sale is just like we just got done talking about. That's just a conversation. Now, if the question is how easy, like, am I going to be making sales every day? No, you won't, right? And that's just any business. No business, no service-based business is typically just sales are just pouring in every single day, all the time, especially with something like this. So it's client-based. But the sale part is easy, okay? The frequency of sales, that all depends on your consistency. If you are not consistent, well, sales will be slow, right? Because you still have to get into conversations to get the sale, right? And not every sales, it's not 100% close rate with everyone you talk to, right? When I say talk to, not everyone that you put in bids on, or some people you won't even get into a conversation with them, right? So if I'm infrequently doing this, if I'm just spotty and barely doing this consistently, well, it's going to take a while because I'm not being consistent. Okay, does that make sense? Right? And that's simple. That's easy to understand. All right, I'm not technical. How easy is the tech side of things? Okay, well, I just showed you, right? I just built the site, right? We had the requirement. I think it was this one. We had the basic premise of what they needed help with or what they were looking for. And just by me typing, I need a website built based on the following, and then copying and pasting what they said, I have this beautiful site. Okay. And so in the end, that's the extent of the technical piece. Okay. And even getting the proposal was just me typing. Okay. So the tech part of this initial piece of the process, offering of the website, very, very, very easy. Okay. Now, what's really cool is if I got into the conversation and someone wanted this, so yeah, okay, here's what we want. Guess what I'm going to do then? I'm just going to copy and paste what they said and do something like, can you please make the following updates? And then paste in what they want. Oops. And then paste in what they want. Sorry, I thought I was sharing. Okay. That's the extent of the tech piece. Okay. Now you put it on a domain. I show you that in the training. That part's very easy. It's very step-by-step. It takes less than a minute. Okay. So that's the extent of the first part of this process. Once I get into my other services, right? Things like lead generation. Okay. A little bit more technical there. But there's always an option where I can bring someone else in to do services, tech work for me. Okay, we've talked about that in the training. We talked about that before here on these lives, where I can partner with someone who's really good at technical stuff, right? Close the deal, and they'll just get part of the money to do all the tech stuff, where I don't have to worry about it, and I put my half of the money or my portion of the money right in my pocket, and no anxiety, no problems. I don't have to worry about it. Maybe I'm not technical. I don't want to learn the tech stuff. Cool. There's someone I can easily partner with. There's people I can hire, right? We talked about VAs, where I can just hire a VA that's hourly. We talk about that in the training, who are already technical and already know how to do this stuff. Okay. So they can do that. I can also outsource, where it's not a VA that works for me hourly. It's another company that it's like partnering, where I'm bringing someone in to do something, but instead of a partner splitting profits with me, it's an outsourcing company who just says, no, our fee to do this is X. And then I would just pay them that fee. And it's just that fee no matter what. No matter how much money I collect, that's the fee. Whereas a partner, they're typically taking 8%. We're typically splitting the profits. So that depends on how much money is even brought in. And then we split that. Okay, so that's just the differences. All three of those categories, partners, outsourcers, and VAs, any one of those three I can use if I don't have the skill knowledge. And that might be temporary. It might be I'm new and I haven't learned the technical pieces yet. Cool. Well, I can start making, that doesn't have to slow me down from making money, right? I can technically be just like most every other business owner on the planet, where they have people in their business doing work, right? Steve Jobs wasn't on the factory floor screwing together iPhones, right? He had people that did that part for him. right? Like most all businesses on the planet. Typically, it's not one person. You don't go into the restaurant and then the owner's there at the door to greet you. Hey, come on in here. Here, let me get you seated. And then all of a sudden the owner comes back out with a pitcher of water. And then next thing you know, the owner's coming out with a menu. And then all of a sudden you see the owner in the back with the chef hat on flipping. No, there's people in the business doing different things, right? So that's the way most businesses work. So that's the really cool thing about this is I can, whether I don't have the skills yet, maybe it's something I want to do, but I don't know the skills yet. Cool. Bring someone else in so I can start making money. And then when I'm ready and I have a chance to really learn it and do it on my own, cool. Then I'll just take over and do those, the next client I get. Okay, cool. I'll handle all that stuff, right? So you can grow into your business at your own pace. But then there's people who just like, I don't want to do any tech. I don't want to learn it. Cool. Maybe I'll learn it a little bit, but I'm fine someone else doing it because I'm going to focus on other stuff that I don't mind doing. Okay. So there's that category of folks too. And that's the beautiful thing about this is it doesn't matter how easy or hard the tech is. I always have a solution to get it done. Okay. And that actually ties into the last question I wanted to address. That's a common question. Hey, I work full time. How am I going to do all this? Right? Am I going to have time to do all this? Okay. Well, you just looked at me demonstrate the process of getting the business going, which is my daily routine. Okay. It took me less than 1 minute, essentially, to find a project, get the website starting to build, and get the proposal. Okay. So the beautiful thing about this business and the process that we looked at, Upwork is 24/7. So it doesn't matter whether I work a swing shift, I work all during the day, I work all during the night, I work double shift, I have 2 jobs, I have 15 jobs. It doesn't matter. I'll always have the ability to show up at that site and bid on some projects, and I can have the whole process done in minutes per project bidding. And then once I'm looked at the projects for the day, right, I'm only looking at what's been posted today. And then once I go through and bid on the ones I'm going to bid on, I'm done. I go on about my life. Okay. And so in the end, the beautiful thing about this is everyone has time to do the initial prospecting piece, and it's very easy. So anyone can do that. There's no skill issues, there's no money issues, and there's no time issues. Having said that, this number 5 ties into what I just reviewed in number 4. At any point in time, if I don't have time or I don't want to waste the time, those are 2 different things. I don't have the time and I don't want to waste the time to do something in this process or in my business, then what do? I just hire someone or partner with someone, right? And so I want to differentiate those one more time. I don't mean you necessarily, some people get scared. Oh my God, I don't have $2,000 a month to pay some employee. Okay, well, cool. You don't need to pay an employee $2,000. First and foremost, I have different levels of help, different ways and levels that I can use. What I recommend to every new person getting going who's on a budget and wants to penny pinch on their way, which is fine, right? I want to grassroots, or they say something like, "Oh, I'm going to guerrilla marketing, whatever." That's basically code for I don't want to spend any money. I don't have money, or I don't want to spend any money, whatever. Cool, not that big of a deal. Then you just simply partner with someone, because there's nothing out of my pocket when I partner. Money from the client. Part of that money goes to partner. The rest of the money goes in my pocket. I had to pay nothing out of my pocket. So that's the easiest, fastest way to get going, where I can actually have help in my business and I don't have to worry about paying an employee, right? Because they're in the same boat as me. They want to get going fast. They're saving money and getting their startup going and trying to get momentum. It's easy. It's a win-win. All right, cool. Yeah, cool. This person brought in this opportunity for me. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of that money. You each get money because you each are doing a part of the process. Okay. Very easy to get going. And some people are like, oh, I don't want to give my money away. Those same people, I watch them never get any clients because they can't handle it. So their logic is, oh, I'm never going to make money if I partner with someone. And then they sit there and never make money because they don't even get any clients because they're not ready yet to do any marketing. And then they eventually get sidetracked and shiny object, and they never make money anyway. So what is it? Would you rather have 100% of $0, or would you rather split 50% of $2,000? Right? It's about getting out of your own, like people come in and start a business. They've never made any money ever doing anything other than their job. And all of a sudden they're financial experts and they're business experts. All of a sudden, oh, I don't want to pay this person. What have you done yet? You have not proven yourself in any area of life revolving around a business, right? So these people that do that have those attitudes, those are the ones that just never make any money anyway, and they fail, and they literally don't accomplish what they set out to accomplish anyway, because for whatever reason in their head, they think they're too good to actually run a business the correct way. I don't know what that is. It's just it's a weird dynamic. I don't know what it is. So I'm telling you this so that you don't fall in that trap, so that you identify that it makes smart sense to start making money any way that you can. My very first client, I got paid $200 total for the month. It was making $200 a month. That was it. And I was doing something that was worth way more than that, but I didn't care because it was my first money that I was making from a client. I was happy to make that money. It got me started. It got me motivated. It got me going, right? So I encourage you, get whatever money that you absolutely can when you're just getting started, because it is what kicks off the snowball for you to be successful and to get things going. So if it means you have to partner with 4 people and split all your money 4 ways, who gives a crap? Get it going and get clients, because you know what? 1 client can easily turn into 3 clients. How? Referrals. I can leverage that client to sell this client because they see that I'm working with this guy, and so on and so forth. That 1 client can turn into multiple streams of income because they want 4 other services now that I got them on board, right? Get clients. That's all that matters. So I can partner right away and not have to pay anything out of pocket. A VA, that might be my next level, or an outsourcer might be my next level. Why? Because I have to pay them. Now, the VA that I hire who works internal in my business, there's a benefit to them because I only pay them weekly typically, sometimes bi-weekly, which means if I hire someone today and say start next week, they're going to start on Monday, but I don't pay them Monday. And then they're going to work Tuesday. I don't pay them Tuesday. They're going to work Wednesday. I don't pay them Wednesday. I'll pay them Friday for the week. They bill me for the hours they worked. And VAs I can typically hire for $3 to $4 an hour. Okay. And I don't have to have them working full time. I can't bring someone on full time. I'm going to afford that. I'm going to afford $200 a week or whatever that boils out to. Cool. Then hire them for 3 hours a week. You don't have to have them full time. Hire them for an hour. Who cares, right? Can you afford $3? I think you all can, right? Bring on a VA for an hour a week. Okay. It's not that hard. Okay. You don't have that much business anyway for these guys to be doing anything. And if you're having them prospect for you, still an hour of prospecting, think about it. Most people don't even get an hour themselves. They won't even dedicate an hour themselves to prospecting. So imagine paying someone for $3 to $4, and they're going to put in a full hour of doing nothing but trying to get you business. Okay. It's such an easy thing. And I pay them after the fact. So every week I'm paying them, or every 2 weeks, right? And I'm paying them a very cheap amount. So it's very easy to afford them even for a full month. And I don't get a client that month. It's not going to break the bank. Okay. But now I have this person that I can rely on to do something in my business to help me get momentum. Okay. The cool thing about the VA is it doesn't matter how many clients I get. Okay. With the partner, I get client 1 and I have them doing a service for me. Okay. And we're going to split that cost of that service 50%, or the fee for that service 50%. Say it's $1,000 for a service. I'm having a partner do that service for me. I close the deal. Partner's going to do all the work. And say we're going to split it 50-50. Okay. 1,000 comes to me. I take 500 of that, give it to the partner. 500 goes into my pocket, and I get to go to the park if I want to, or blow bubbles, whatever I want to do, run through the hose, whatever the heck I want to do, because I have time, all the time in the world. My partner's the one doing all the work now. Okay. Client 2 comes in. We sell that same service for 1,000. I get 1,000 from that client, give 500 to the partner, 500 in my pocket for that. That's how the partnership works. Okay. An outsourcer is, so again, also the partner, I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. Collect the money. Part of that money goes to the partner now. So nothing out of my pocket. The outsourcer, say they do that service. Okay. And say that they do it for $600. Actually, I don't want to make it sound like they cost more. Okay. So let's just say they cost 500, or they do the service for 500. Okay. Well, they won't do anything until I pay them 500. Okay. So if I worked it out and the client's not going to pay me until mid-month, but I told them I'm going to get started now at the first of the month, well, the outsourcer, he doesn't care that I haven't got paid. The outsourcers is like, no, I won't get started until you pay me 500. So I need to pull 500 out of my pocket, give it to the outsourcer. And then when I get paid from the client, I'll just put all that money in my pocket, but I had to pay the outsourcer first. So the outsourcer doesn't care when I get paid. They won't do any work until I pay that fee. And then client 2 comes along, same thing, right? But maybe client 2 pays up front. Cool, I can then take 500 and do it. But either way, the outsourcer won't start until they're paid, whether I get that money now or I have to wait on it. Okay. And each client, I'm paying my partner, and each client I'm paying an outsourcer, right? It doesn't matter either one of those two. It just matters how they're getting paid. Okay. The VA, okay, client 1, say the VA is an hourly worker. I'm paying $3 an hour, and they're working, let's just say 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. Okay. So I'm paying them $15 a week. Okay. I close a client for that $1,000 a month service. Okay. Well, the VA gets none of that. I mean, technically maybe they're getting paid out of that, but that 1,000 comes to me, I put it in my pocket. When my VA bills me the $15 a week, well, that's when I pay it. Okay. Client 2 comes, I closed a $1,000 service. Okay. Client gives me 1,000. Well, now I'm getting 2,000, but the VA, they're still $15 a week. The same $15 a week I was paying even when I had 1 client. If I get 3 clients, I'm still paying the VA the same $15 a week for the hours, until I add more hours. So they get paid hourly no matter how many clients I have. Okay, and that's the differences between all those. And in any of those scenarios, I have people to help me in the business. I always recommend start with a partner, because that's nothing out of pocket. They're just going to split the profits. Okay. And then as I get confidence, get clients, start making more money, then I can start looking to either doing the work myself if I want to, or bringing in a VA to handle some of that, or I can just keep doing the partner. Okay. There's some people that just keep doing the partner stuff. Like they do certain things, but there's always a certain service that they just have a partner do. Right. But they do other services. Right. So it's as flexible as you want it to be. But time is never an excuse. Honestly, none of this is. I've never sold. It's not an excuse. I'm not that technical. It's not an excuse. I work full time. Cool. It's not an excuse. There is no excuse for anything in this business, because everything has a solution. Okay. And so those are the common questions that come up, and those are the answers. Those are how those work and how you essentially overcome and or handle each of those things. Okay.